Hey everyone, this is Jam from Casuals. Today's video is going to be about Art of Conquest, a MMORTS by Lilith Game. It's a really fun, amazing game, and today I'm going to show you what it's all about. So what is Art of Conquest? So basically, it's an open world RTS. As you can see, it's massively multiplayer online, so MMO. There's other players that are interacting in the real world at the same time as you. There's all of these monsters scattered around, and dungeons and quests and events, and you can attack them, collect stuff. There's treasures to be found. So it's like a really fun world to discover. As you can see here, I'm just collecting some loot. You can look at the map here, and if you go around here, you see it's a very massive world. Now, I've only explored a portion of it, and I'm still at the beginning, so I just started this account about a few days ago. And there's this part which is really fun, which like engaging, and you can see other players interact in real time. You can even fight other players from other faction, conquer cities. So it's really the whole package. There's so much to be done. Now, as well as the open world, there's a city building aspect of this game. So it's pretty standard like the other games. You have stuff to help your house members. You have generation of resources. You have training buildings where you can train more troops of different tiers. And you have like resource collection and generation. As you see here, there's all different kind of resources, 6 to be exact. There's different kind of speed ups, different kind of gems. And as well as you can basically increase your castle level, train or build new buildings to have different effects. So here I just queue stuff up, I collect some units here, help my allies here. So it's a whole deal. There's so much involved in this game. There's eventually a whole dragon aspect where you get to hatch some eggs and fight with some dragons in some dens. So it's really the whole package kind of game. There's so much going on in this. It's really fun to play. It's a long-term kind of game where you have to be patient and build with your house and your kingdom and achieve a greater goal. I really am enjoying it so far. I used to play this game a long time ago, and I just came back recently and discovered that they added so much content. Now, the main aspect of this game is champions or commanders or heroes. So in this case, I have quite a few of them. You start with a few of them here, so I can go through them quite quickly here. They're all different kind of heroes, and they all, if you go in the details here, they all represent a different icon, as you can see here. So those are all the different races in this game. There's 5 different ones. And see, if I go here, I can scroll. There are so many of those heroes, and they are so good. It is the main aspect of this game. You will be building your heroes, your attributes. You will be making them stronger. And as we saw at the beginning here, you can even equip items on them. So here is my main hero. If I go here, now he has all these items. There's item sets, and there's even artifacts, and eventually prisms. And they all have abilities. Like this one is a human commander. Now he has human abilities who will boost archers, and he's a natural leader, so he can bring more troops. Now they all have their specialty. He's a spellcaster. This one's a healer. This one's a necromancer, and he's a dwarf lord. So it's very hero focused. So it is a very fun game involving a lot of strategy, because the way you place your heroes when you fight, and the way you level up your heroes and skill them up, and the items you give them and the items you craft for them, because you can craft items as well, will all make a difference in the way your playstyle will be, because they are all unique to their race and they all have different buffs. Now, as I said earlier, there's quite a few races. So if I go here, you can see them all. So there's humans, dwarves, Lich, which is basically undead. There's Rakan, which is basically like some kind of squirrel race, and Sylvani, which are kind of like elves, tree, nature related race. So the way this game works is basically one big continent divided in 6 factions. As you can see here, there's all 6 different colors. Now I'm in purple. If I zoom in here a little bit, as you can see, all of these little areas own usually a city or some kind of resources with like daily. So this one has a dungeon that I can do. This one has a dungeon that I can do. There's a boss here. And there's all these little cities spread around. Now these are the ones for my own kingdom and my alliances. These ones are neutral. So basically the goal is to capture them and grow. You can see everybody's kind of doing that and growing and capturing more and more of their own. And eventually the Imperium will be here, and you will elect an emperor to rule over the kingdom. So the strongest color or faction will usually take the lead on the server, and basically it's kind of like a race to who wants to lead. There's a lot of diplomacy involved. If you click here, you can see, so this is like the emperor. Now the emperor gets to name a lot of different persons, so they're like, they have titles and they have different bonuses. If you click here, see this one has faster upgrade. They all have their own things, and they all have different powers that you can spawn. And there's a treasury with chests that you can give out. So it's very, very complex, but very amazing. Now, as well, every faction, you can see here all the faction, all get to select a king. Now, it basically works, as you can see here. So the amount of cities that you have, you can vote for a king. So now there's a lot of people voting for this person to be king, depending on how many cities they have. After a week, a new king is chosen, and that king gets to appoint some advisors, and the advisors get to appoint their own advisors, like you can see here. So it's a very complex, very diplomatic game, very strategy oriented. It's basically a whole kingdom and then a whole imperium to lead, and there's a lot of war, a lot of conflicts, a lot of trades. So it's very, very, very amazing in that sense. If you like very advanced games where you get to really use your brain and get to do a lot of diplomacy, this is the game for you. It is really the definition of a real-time strategy game. So the way the game works with cities, you see here, I'm at this city's called Scalden. Now, if I click here, there we go. So this is my own city. I'm level 8. This is my name, my power, how many troops are defending. Now, I could move anywhere else, or I could choose another city owned by my own alliance, which are kind of in yellow here. So this one and this one. And as you see, I'll go just check it out. So here I am at the new city. Now I could move in this city instead of the old one. So like you see, just do, boom, there you are. I am here. Now obviously I'm shielded, but by moving to a city, I get extra resources. And sometimes there's tiles where you can be that will give you like extra building. Now I can't use this one because there was a city that just moved. But eventually I can go there and get some extra buffs. But it also means that now I am open to being attacked by other players. So they could come and attack my city. Now you can see here, this is a guard tower, but if you attack them and defeated their troops, they could get all these resources for free. Now I'm pretty poor, so there's not much you can do for me yet, but once I don't have a shield and I have a lot of resources in a few days, I could get attacked. So you can see here, all of these cities eventually will all be captured by some color, and then there'll be conflicts of who wants to be taking some cities. Like the big cities like this one here give very like amazing buffs, so people want to have them as many as possible. It gives you more power to have for the Imperium. So it's all about basically building your city up and building your armies up. You can defend people from attacking your city by attacking them on the open field if they're beside your city, or you can opt to have a garrison with troops, and you can eventually add heroes to it, and you're defending against their troops. There's a hospital system in this game, but there's also a debt system, so they could lose troops permanently, and then they have to retrain them, which costs resources and take time. So it's a very more like real time than the other games when you're used to. It's not just like you time an attack. You could be attacked 4 or 5 times within 5 minutes by 5 different players, and you would see them live here around the city attacking your own city. So then your alliance could send troops and defend and attack them and duel them. Now if you duel someone in the open field, you'll basically have a fight, kill troops, and if you win, they will be sent back to their house, and they won't be able to attack for some period of time, and they will have incurred a lot of losses as well. Now, for the combat, it works in a pretty unique way as well, so I'll show you right here. Now, when you fight, it's not turn-based, but you get a time to position your armies. So obviously, I have like a pre-selection here. There's a lot of them. So this is my armies, or otherwise you can just drag and drop them. You can see they can go around. Now, obviously, I don't want this one. You have champions as well that you can bring. Now, let me bring this gold knights here. So you see I have 7 out of 7 because I have all these heroes that allow me to have that many troops. I could add more heroes. Now I could add more troops as well, but the power here seems pretty unbalanced already. So you basically just choose how this work, where your heroes are, where your units are. You obviously will learn which units do what, and then you just fight. There you go. Now you see, now when the fight starts, you don't have control over the unit, but every hero has an ability. See, if I click an ability here, the game pauses. This is only true when you're doing PvE content. When you're fighting against other players or attacking cities, the game doesn't pause. So you have to click and do your abilities very quickly. Now you saw this guy made an ability happen. That was a passive ability that just happened on its own. But here, like, I keep pausing the game. If I were to play real time, I would have to cast it right away. And now there's a little cooldown before I can cast another one. But in the real fight PvP, you can have up to like 10, 15, even more heroes, and you can keep casting and casting. So it is not completely controlled, but you have a lot of control because abilities in this game are absolutely massive. They make the biggest difference, and heroes are eventually going to be much stronger than most troops. So it will be a fight of heroes with some troops supporting them. So it is very involved. You can't just click and wait. It's not an AFK kind of game. It's really, you have to be good, you have to position it properly, you have to skill up the right skills, and you have a lot of strategies, a lot of different races, a lot of different bonuses. So there's not only one meta. There's a lot of players using a lot of different strategies to get a really, really fun concept going. Now, this game is also very event heavy and very, I would say, quest heavy. So I can see here, I have all these chapters of quests that I'm doing. Now I'm pretty far down this one. I've got all of this done. I get some extra reward. Now there's some new chapter coming up, and you can see I'm going to eventually unlock this at chapter 10. And meanwhile, I have all these amazing rewards to do. So like you can see all of these little quests. So level 3 barrack, level 4 outpost. So that's pretty basic. The stuff is pretty self-explanatory, but it basically keeps you involved and keeps you with like extra reward coming and eventually giving you big reward. Now on top of that, if you go here, there's quests like this. So these are just kind of like side quests to tell you kind of where to go next or what to do next. And then there's activity, which are like daily quests, which give like really good reward eventually. Like this 300 one, like these runes and all this 30-minute speed up. Like you can do this every day. As you see, every 20-something hours, you can do it. Now eventually there's going to be even a better chest. And these are just basically like clear some dungeon, deliver some resources. This is all on the open field in the map. It's basically all daily quests. There's tons of that. There's signing rewards. There's packed reward where you pack with another player on the server and you do extra quests. Now, on top of it all, you go here. All of these are different events. So this is a new kingdom. So there's a new kingdom event. This one lasts 13 days. You have to attack cities and gather points. And these are, trust me, very good rewards. Now there's a login gift. So every day you get a new reward. Leveling reward. So again, same kind of thing. Now there's a competition. So this is the leaderboard of the top players on the server. You can see which ranking they are, which faction they belong to. Now I'm number 90. So not too bad considering I just started. You can also see which houses are top, which kingdom is stronger. So see, my kingdom is third, not too bad, but obviously not the best. But this changes very much in the beginning because it's until the server fills up with new players, you won't really have an idea of exactly where it's going to go. So yeah, there is a lot of involvement here. Like there's so much going on. Now there's also a lot of spending involved, but spending is not necessary in this game because there is so much going on. You can grow without spending. Now, I will go through the shop very quickly. There is so much in this shop. It's incredible. Now, I personally just go for this. It's basically, it starts at $2 a month, and afterward it's $7 a month, and you get all these bonuses, so you get extra rushes. It's like, this is insane. It's like a few dollars a month, and you get a lot of value out of it. And then this one is a subscription, so similar to other subscription type in the games, and you also get a lot of extra stuff. And this one is even cheaper. It's actually, I think, $1.99 a month. So, you know, for less than $10 a month, I can get all of this, and this is really a lot in this game already. Now, there's a shop here which makes you spend your Linari, which is the currency of this in-game. And sometimes you have these amazing items for some high price of Linari, but sometimes you'll see there's items for gold, which is just a resource in the game that you can buy and it's very worth it. Or even Linari stuff is going to be at a rebate, so that's also sometimes worth it. Now there's going to be other videos that will probably be more helpful about this kind of stuff especially, but just as you can see, you can even buy like gold troops if you really wanted with some Linari, which is very useful at the beginning because gold troops are some of the best troops at the beginning. Now you also have chests, so this is how you will unlock your champions by gathering this. You get this by doing daily stuff, so eventually you'll have 100, and you see you have it guaranteed eventually. So yeah, there's 3 different heroes, and then there's like a free chest every day as well. Sometimes you'll get some pretty cool stuff. Most of the time you'll just get like basic stuff. Now you can buy Linari. Now on top of that, there's sets, so you can buy all other champions here. You can buy like these sets. Basically you buy it and it gets to the next set, which is more expensive but better reward. And now this is like a daily thing. So there's so much in this game. It's incredible how much content there is. And this is not even half of it because I haven't even unlocked half of it. So this is a really, really crazy game. They've recently redone a lot of this stuff. It looks so much better than before. Now this is kind of like the VIP system. So the more you spend, the more points you gain. And then you get these chests every day. Eventually this chest gives a lot of really good reward. This gives the hero currency. And you also unlock these chests that have a limit. And as you can see, these chests contain absolutely crazy, crazy items. And all these extra buff. And eventually these buff, like it gets to a point where you get super, super meaningful buff. And it's not that hard to get like to a semi-high tier. It's really great. Now, the other main focus of this game is houses or alliances or guilds, if you want to call them. So here I clicked on my alliance. This is my alliances top Seaver. Now we have 3 different cities. Now here you can see the little income that can be collected every few minutes or every few hours, I guess. And this is the amount of players that are currently in these cities. Now there's a help system. Obviously, now I can help everybody. There we go. And you gain some points for helping, so it's encouraged to help. Obviously, you want to get this chest. This is pretty good chest for doing absolutely nothing but clicking a button, obviously. Now you can see activity. So this tells you everything that's happening in your alliance. Now you can even see other players who fought other players. See, now you can even look at the replay. So this is one of the fun part of the game. You basically just look at what's happening, who's fighting who. You can tell sometimes players are like super strong, and not all of them show a replay, but most of them do. Now you're like, oh wow, this guy has a gold troop and this guy has silver troops, and like who won and who lost, and you can watch the entire replay. And basically it's just like you learn strategy, and it's just a way to be nosy but have fun with it. You know what I mean? And obviously members, now you can go through the list, you know who the leader is and all that kind of stuff. So it's very advanced. There are so many aspects of this game. You can basically play for hours without having to spend any money at all, and still have more and more to do. Like I still have all these zones to explore, and even in the open world, you see all these little monsters I can kill and fight them. It basically takes energy. My champions, if you go here, now there's an energy system. This is the heart there. It regenerates every day, and as you gain a level, they'll gain energy. So at the beginning, you'll be leveling up so much, you'll never run out of energy for a long time. And when you do, you have items that can refresh it. See, this is the item. Now I have 63 of them. I've spent maybe less than $20 in this game so far. And this is 5 energy each. So I have tons of energy at the beginning. This game is so rewarding. You get so much free stuff. All this loot, all this stuff. I barely did anything for it. I haven't even used half of it yet. So much XP. So you can tell it's so rewarding. There's always something to do, always something to kill, more items, more potions to gather, more stuff to do. And you can even go around and go into another territory that is not yours and go fight other players. Now you can also go in your own territory and fight players who are coming in. It's like there's open world PvP basically, and that's really amazing. I find that so interesting in this kind of game, to be able to like just physically see someone on the map and attack them. Now there's also these kind of like daily quests. You can either go and fight them, or you can use token that will make you skip it. So, you know, they've made this game very user-friendly, very intelligently made, I find. I really like it. Now, last aspect that I want to touch to just give you an overview of this game completely. So in this menu here, as I shown earlier, we have a few of these kingship that will come into play eventually. Now you also have skills. Eventually you'll have rows and rows of skill. Basically you can recall to your base, you can reduce training troop, and you can extra research time. So all these little skills, there's some really cool ones that come in the future as well. And as well, now you have the items as I showed earlier. So you have all these types of items. And you also have this. So this is the army, the troops. Now there's like a troop count, so bronze, silver, and gold. These are the 3 types of troops. You can see kind of like the border changes color. And you can basically upgrade them from bronze to silver to gold. And then you can upgrade them in levels. So it goes from like 1, 2, 3, and then it goes 4, and it goes up to like 15, 16. And then there's like, you can eventually specialize your troop and equip troops items. So they have equipment that gives them effects and specialties, and some of them will eventually turn purple, and they'll be like extra strong, and they'll have different skins. There's like cosmetics. So troops are one of the big part of this game, obviously, because they go along with your heroes, and then they all have different abilities. So cavalry, they have a charge that do a lot of damage on impact. Now spearmen counter that charge, but also throw a javelin at the beginning of the fight. Swordmen basically have a shield that reduces range damage. Now there's like these troops would eventually are healers. And now these are all human troops. Now I have one dwarf troop here, which I recruited earlier. Now every army has its own type of troop, which is really incredible because they all have their own specialty and they all have their own playstyle. Now again, I can go in the races again. You can see all the troops here, but every one of these races has as many troops as here. If I go in the army here, you can see these are all the types of troops. So it goes from infantry to range to heavy infantry, or I guess this is heavy and this is light, and this cavalry, and then this is a caster, and this is like a catapult. Now every race has 6 different ones, and they are not all the same. They don't have all infantry. Like for example, the Lich, they have a spider instead of cavalry. And for example, like the Rakan have some like swordmen and samurais and stuff instead of like light infantry and stuff like that. Now on top of that, you can eventually have heroes where you can unlock skills and abilities, or I would say even like more buffs for your heroes. So you can research heroes, which is a pretty cool concept I've never seen before, really. And yeah, as I said, there's just so much in this game, but this is the other aspect. So troops, heroes, those are your armies, and then there's a city building, there's an open world, there's diplomacy, kingship, emperorship, attacking cities, neutral mobs, there's even neutral bosses, and there's so much more content. if I click on the map here, every one of these is like something. So this is a daily quest. This is I can recruit troops here. So there's an altar here and a sanctum here, which eventually get me captured. Here, this is a boss that I can kill. Now here, there's a black market where I can buy stuff. And here, there is a gold mine, so I can go to it and basically it will send gold to my city. There's just so much. So guys, this is the end of my overview. So basically I'm just trying to touch on every aspect of this game. There really is so much to explain. I'll release another video pretty soon, which will be about kind of a starter guide, tips, what to focus on at the beginning, what kind of troops and races are good to use, and maybe a bit about the formation and kind of troops that do what. So if you're interested in this game, make sure to check it out. We're going to be playing it a little bit, and we're going to be releasing a few videos coming up as well. So we'll see you next time, guys. As always, you can join our Discord, or in the comments here, you can ask some questions about the game or anything that you would like. And we'll hope to see you at the next video, guys.